So I bought a cheap house in rural Japan. But how much but how much does it really cost to live here? In today's video, I'm going to run you through monthly utility bills and answer all the questions from the previous video's comments. So hopefully it gives you a rough idea. So without getting too deep into my personal finances, I'm very organized with my monthly utility bills because I like to keep everything under control. I don't have a full-time job and I don't have steady income, so I like to keep a track of all my finances and monthly living costs. The good thing is I feel I don't have such an expensive lifestyle here, but I also don't struggle for money, so there's a good balance between working and free time to enjoy living here. You too, Lulu? Lulu wants to say hi. She doesn't like to be left alone, ever. So monthly utility bills, we have water, gas, electricity, they're the main ones. And then we have Wi-Fi, and subscriptions like Netflix and stuff like that. Don't need to go into too much details, that's not so specific about living here in Japan. But yeah, basically gas, water, electricity, house insurance, jokaso. Jokaso is septic tank. So because I'm in the countryside here, I'm not connected to the sewerage system. So I have a septic tank, and luckily enough, my next door neighbor is the septic tank company, the cleaner and provider and all that stuff. So it's pretty easy. They just come around, I think every 3 months, and check and then do maintenance and then clear it out. I actually just got the septic tank bill yesterday.
1年に1回検査 That's an inspection.
Yeah.
Once a year inspection.
見るだけ.
It's clean or not. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so septic tank. And then we've got my personal costs, which is car insurance, but also the big one, the one that, as a freelancer in Japan, this is the one that doesn't quite surprise me now, but years ago it used to surprise me. I used to hate it when June time come, because every June I get my residence tax, which is juminze in Japanese, and my national insurance, which is kokumin hokken.
国民健康保険
Kokumin Kenko Hokken. If you're an employee, this gets deducted from your salary every month. But as a freelancer, this is I have to take on myself the payments. And the way it works in Japan is it comes in the next year. So what I worked last year from January to December, all my earnings get calculated. And then the next year, June, which is now, I get taxed for last year. So if I've worked a lot the previous year, then my next year tax is a lot. If I work little, then hopefully it's little. But it's always a big surprise because even though I can roughly calculate what it's going to be, when you see it on paper, it still kind of takes you back a little bit because it's kind of like a lump sum payment. Of course, you can pay it in installments. So my one, they allow me to pay in 8 times payments. So they send me 8 slips to pay every month. But for me, I don't like owing money. And I pay it all in one go. So let's start with water. So actually the water, it's not bad. Every month for the whole winter, they charge me 1,100 yen. Now I thought that was for every month throughout the year. But the reason it's always 1,100 yen, regardless of how much water I use, is that come May time, they actually check the meter and recalculate. So what they do from, I think it's December until May or December till April, they just guesstimate 1,100 yen, which I think is the minimum, and then they charge me that throughout the winter. And then in May, they check the meter, and the reason they check is because during the winter it's covered in snow, so they don't have access to it. So in May time, I get quite a big water bill. It's not that big. I think this May was about 5,000 yen for May and December up until May, the kind of recalculation. And then throughout the summer, it averages out between 1,000 to 2,000 yen a month. So really, it's not that bad. Next, we go into electricity, the electric bill. So, of course, living in the mountains, I have the winter. Well, I have 4 seasons here, and each season is very different in terms of the climate. During the winters, it's very cold, it's very snow. I'm in the middle of snow country here. So, of course, the bill will fluctuate throughout the year. So looking at my chart, my cheapest month, which was the month of January, was only 6,000 yen for electricity. And the most expensive month was 13,189 yen. And that was for the month of March. So it kind of goes up and down. So the minimum has been about 6,000 yen up until about 13,000 yen. It's never been over that, and it's never really been below 6,000 yen. So you can work out my average of that. So not so bad for electricity. In the summer, I mentioned in my previous video, I don't have any air conditioning. Even though it does get hot here, it's never so hot inside the house where I need air conditioning. I have like this nice airflow that comes through the windows when I open the windows in the summer. In the winter, you would have seen in another previous video of mine, I collect firewood and I try and run the heating off my log burner here, which, yeah, I really like in the winter. So in terms of heating costs for electricity, I don't have any thing that uses electricity for heating in the winter, except from these small little kerosene burners I've got, which we don't use them very much. I'm trying to just use the maki stove here behind me. So this heats up the whole house to a really nice temperature. And then we've got gas. So gas and electricity is provided for me by the same company, and it gets billed the same time each month by the same company in one payment, which I quite like. It's easy to manage. But gas isn't that much. So every month it sits about 2,000 yen. It's never been below, and it's never been over 3,000 yen. So it's about 2,300 yen to 2,400 yen and back down. So it kind of sits at a steady 2,000 yen. Again, I don't think that's bad. The reason that sounds cheap is in my house, I only use gas for the gas cooker. So my hot water is not provided from gas. Eventually, I think I will change to a gas heating system and a gas water boiler, because my old kerosene water boiler that came with the house from when the house was built like 30 years ago, it works, but it needs replaced because in the winter, as the ground freezes and the air is cold, it sounds like gargling. It's like air is caught in the pipes or something, and it goes whoa, 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 constantly throughout the day. We contacted a plumber and the company came around to have a look at it. They just said it's old, it needs parts replacing, they don't make the parts anymore. So it's something I will update this year, hopefully. And the way it works in Japan, if I were to change it to a new kerosene heater, then I'd have to buy a kerosene boiler, sorry. Then I'd have to buy a new kerosene boiler and get it installed. But if I ask my gas company to come and give me a quote how much it costs to change the system of the water boiler from kerosene to gas, a lot of the times the gas company will install a new water boiler for you, and instead of charging you, then you'll be put on a contract, because my gas is not city gas, it's actually LPG gas. So it's quite competitive for the companies to try and get new customers. So the gas company will come round and provide us a quote if we can change the water boiler system. Yeah, either way, I need to change the water boiler system anyway. I need to buy a new one. So to make it cheaper, rather than buy myself a brand new kerosene unit, I could opt to go for the LPG gas and get the gas company to provide, and then I'm just paying the monthly gas fees, which I don't mind doing anyway, because I think a nice new system would be quite good. And because this house has no heating system except from the maki stove, I think in the individual bedrooms, I would like to get heating system installed in there. So the gas company will come round and provide me a quote for all of that. So yeah, I think that's like a thing I would like to do this year. So probably the gas prices will go up from 2,000 yen up to, I don't know, quite a bit more, I'd imagine. Yeah, so as I mentioned about the water boiler being kerosene, I don't have a monthly running cost for that. How that works is I have a big kerosene tank outside the house. I think it's like 400 liter ne, kana?
Almost 500 liter.
I think it's like almost 500 liter kerosene tank. And then every now and then, the local petrol station company comes around and then fills it up for us. And I bought the house last June, and it was already filled from the previous owner, or I think the real estate agent filled it. So I never had to touch it until about November time last year, before the winter start. We filled it up right to the top, and that came to 5万.
5万円。400リッター入って5万円。
Yeah, so last year we got the company to come around and fill it for us. And they filled up just under 400 liters, and it came to 50,000 yen. This was last November. It's currently June, and we've not touched it. I've not even checked the levels of it. So I would say on average every 6 months to fill it up for us. We're only 2 people in this house. So of course a house with a bigger family will use more hot water. But I mean, we have baths every day. I like taking a bath, so yeah, kind of fill that bathtub every day. So I guess around about every 6 months, maybe 40 to 50,000 yen. Yeah, we're on our, what was it, November? So November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. So we're already 8 months without even touching it. So I need to check the level actually and see what that looks like. And then we've got the yearly bill. So if you divide this, by 12 months to work out the monthly cost. But this is my home insurance. So I got the full coverage. I wanted everything. I ticked all the boxes. So it's a little bit more expensive than, you can make it cheaper, I guess, if you don't want water damage repairs or, of course we live in snow country, so burst pipes and everything like that. So basically I just wanted the full package just as a security measure as I'm putting money in renovating this house. So yearly costs 64,000 yen, which is, I'm not sure in dollars. I don't work it out, but I'm sure you guys will work it out. But yeah, 64,000 yen for full year's coverage. And the way it works in Japan, you can either pay yearly, 3 yearly, or 5 yearly. If you get the 5-year contract, then it works out cheaper. It kind of deducts itself each year. So I pay yearly, but under a 5-year contract to get it a little bit cheaper, rather than just paying it yearly. In Japan, once your contract runs out and you go to renew your insurance company, the cost can rise dramatically with the same company, and that shocks a lot of people. So the way around that is when your contract runs out and you go to renew and they up the price by 20, 30, 40% or whatever, it's quite a big difference. Then you can compare with other companies and then you just reset to a new company. And that's quite common here in Japan. So internet providers in Japan, the prices can range dramatically. When I was searching for internet here, of course I just wanted unlimited Wi-Fi. The speed, I don't really know so much about internet and all that kind of stuff. I'm not a gamer or anything like that. As long as I can watch Netflix and YouTube, I'm pretty happy. And so I've looked at other companies. Some companies were like 8,000 yen, 10,000 yen, unlimited Wi-Fi. So after searching on Japanese websites, like Japanese forums and stuff, I found a Japanese company that's not so well known compared to the big mobile phone providers like AU and SoftBank and all that stuff. So what AU and SoftBank and everything was charging was about 8,000 yen. And the one I found was only 4,000 yen. I think it's less than that. It's like 3,400 something yen, which was the cheapest one I found for unlimited Wi-Fi. And the speed's pretty good. I don't know, I don't play games, but yeah, I can watch Netflix, I can watch YouTube. I've never had any issues with it. So yeah, the company came around for free, installed all the cables and stuff, and then yeah, same day could use the Wi-Fi. So it was pretty good. It did take about a month for the company to come around. I think it's quite common. I know some houses in the area took up to 6 months for the Wi-Fi company to come around and install the Hikari Wi-Fi cable. So I was pretty lucky. Yeah, it was just less than a month, and then I was able to get Wi-Fi. So before I got my Wi-Fi installed, I just used my phone tethering. My phone bill, again, that's another cheap one that I could find compared to AU, SoftBank, Docomo and stuff like that, where they just charge a crazy amount per month. I'm actually on Rakuten Mobile. And the way Rakuten works is it's unlimited data, but if you use, I think it's 800 yen for up to 3 gigabytes, 1,200 yen up to 10 gigabytes or something, or if you go past 30 gigabytes, it's like 3,000 yen, and that's the cap. So if you go past 30 gigabytes, you only pay a maximum of like 3,000 yen or something like that. I think that's pretty good compared to Sakura, actually. How much is your phone bill? 8,000 yen, ne?
Yeah.
For unlimited.
Yeah, about 1,000 yen.
Oh, 1,000 yen. 10,000 yen for unlimited. So I try and get her to change that to a cheaper one. That's very common among people here. They get kind of stuck into these contracts. I think they're like 2-year contracts. And if you try to get out of the contract, they charge you a crazy cancellation fee or something like that.
This plan 10 years.
Exactly. So guys, get off your current plan and change to a cheaper plan. Yeah, it's ちょっとめんどくさい. Like kind of, how do you say, an annoyance. But yeah, it's worth it. And Sakura's still under 10,000 yen monthly contract from 10 years. Yabai.
やばいね。
Yeah, so guys, comment below if you think she should change it.
I will.
And then of course we've got subscriptions. That's not really living costs as such, so I don't need to go into that. I just have basic Netflix and just my photo editing software. Yeah, I miss the days where you could just buy the disc and that was your software. It was a one-time fee. You put the disc in your computer, download the software onto your computer, and then that's it. You have the software. I don't know what happened, but everything is a subscription now. Anything and everything. And yeah, it might only be 1,000 yen a month for whatever you're signed up for, but that adds up. Because literally everything is a subscription. Even online hard drives. I don't need to get into too much detail with that, but online hard drives, storing all your photos and data in the cloud. Photos that you'll probably never go back and look at. I don't know. I miss the days of printing photos, and actually, that's something I want to talk to you about. I'll take you upstairs to show you this. Office! So this, little side topic, but yeah, I just want to show you guys this. I just recently bought, it's like a nice little leather photo album. And I just wanted to get back into printing photos. I got so tired of always taking photos with the phone. You take thousands of pictures, that gets uploaded to the cloud. And then you're just paying these monthly bills to store all these photos that very rarely you'll go back and look at. And then me and Sakura just went on a 1-month trip to Vietnam and Thailand. And instead of using my phone, I just made a nice little travel camera, a small little one in the pocket, that we could go out, and the goal was to take 3 pictures per day to kind of capture our story. So each of them photos has more of a meaning because I'd have to take the time and effort to go out with my camera and focus. I want to capture 3 photos per day to have these memories to look back on. Come back and then print them off into this leather photo album. Let's get back to it. So we're coming up to the big bills now. So as a freelance contractor, I do pay my own residence tax, national insurance, and pension. So the pension you can get charged monthly. I like to opt in for every 6 months. So of course yearly they'll take out a one-time payment for the year, and it's quite expensive. It's about 200,000 yen. It's actually just went up this last year. So it's about 200,000 yen per year, about 106,000 yen per 6 months, or I think now it's over 17,400 yen per month. So rather than getting charged every month for my credit card 17,000 yen, I just opt in for the 6-month one, which makes it a couple of yen cheaper. It's not even that much cheaper. Now I know a lot of my Japanese friends, a lot of them don't pay their pension if they're not working or if they're contractors or anything like that. If you're earning a lower salary, you can opt for what's called menjo, which is an exemption. But as a foreigner in Japan, depending on your visa, you don't quite have that privilege of not paying into it. This is always a debated subject amongst the foreigners in Japan, because a lot of people on temporary visas or work visas or anything, they don't plan to live here and retire here, yet they still have to pay the pension. In my case, I have my permanent residency here in Japan, and if I stop paying pension, now with the new government and the new rules, any delayed payments or missed payments, or if you purposely aren't paying into the system, they can revoke your visa. As much as I think it's quite expensive to just pay 17,000 yen every month for the pension that I'll probably never get back, I figure that if that's the cost it costs for me to live here in Japan and settle down here, then that's what it is. I enjoy living in Japan and I really love living here. Yeah, I mean, you get taxed and you have tax problems in every country. Japan, a lot of foreigners complain about it, but I love living here. I got my residency. I don't plan on moving out, is what it is. The big ones, resident tax and national insurance. Now these are worked out as a percentage from your yearly income, like a bracket system, a percentage system. So yeah, as I said before, every June I get sent these big payment slips and I just want to pay it all in a lump sum. But yeah, these kind of add into my monthly living costs for the sake of this video. So I've got my house costs, and then I've got these personal costs. So just for the sake of this video, I want to kind of give you guys a rough estimate of my actual monthly living costs. I don't have a full-time job. I'm not an employee, so I have to take care of everything myself and have plan out a little bit with my work and then my free time. The reason I'm not an employee or I don't have a full-time job, I choose this lifestyle in Japan. I came to Japan originally for snowboarding to do the seasons. Before Japan, I was actually living in New Zealand. I've always wanted to come to Japan after being inspired by an old snowboard series called Cardanchi. Yeah, that's, if you guys don't know what that is, go check it out on YouTube. It's like an early 2000s snowboard series that used to come out on DVD, and I'd never seen anything like it before. And this really inspired me to come to Japan. Of course, I was younger at the time, and I was doing work and holiday visas throughout Australia and New Zealand. And then in New Zealand, I was coming towards the end of my visa, looking for the next place to go, and the timing was just right. I could do my work and holiday visa in Japan. And that's what eventually led me to coming to Japan. Japan is such a beautiful country, such a long island, split into 4 main islands, but then hundreds or if not thousands of islands dotted around. There's just endless discovery. So I like to balance work and just free time. I love going exploring when I've got time off. I love the variety of Japan, like way down in the south, you've got Okinawa and all the islands around Okinawa. So very tropical, beautiful ocean. And when I first came to Japan during the summer, I actually worked as a sea kayak guide and snorkel guide down in Okinawa. So yeah, I love just being outside in nature. So as I've been getting older, I just really want to focus on a work-life balance. Yeah, so that brings me back to why I have to pay my own national insurance, residence tax and pension rather than it being deducted from a monthly salary, because I don't have a monthly salary. So just for the sake of this video, we'll go to about 2 years back where I worked, say, for the year, and then the next year in June time I got my residence tax and national insurance sent to me. So then for that year, my monthly bill for both of them was actually 35,000 yen, which is 35,000 yen. Both of them were similar. One was 35,000 yen for the residence and I think 37 for the national insurance. So in total for that is 70,000 yen, then plus the pension on top of that, 70, 80, 87,000 yen. Just in that alone, without any other utility bills or living costs, the national insurance, the resident tax and the pension came to about like 80,000 yen. I'm pretty sure that's most of my bills covered. Then of course, if you own a car, then you've got running costs for your car. I have my van. In Japan, we have a yearly shaken, or mine's yearly because it's a work van. If you have a normal car, it's every 2 years. The shaken is the vehicle inspection. So every year, if I do what's called the user shaken, it makes it cheaper for me taking the van by myself to the user shaken area. That's about 40,000 yen if there's no problems with it. If there's no problems with the car, I'd say 40,000 yen per year. If you take it to a garage, that adds up quite a lot. It could be over 100,000 yen, if not more. The reason I don't like full-time employment is I don't like somebody owning or controlling my time. So in the case of going to the user shack-in, you'd have to organize it with your boss to take a day off work. And to take a day off work, you then lose a day's money. Yeah, I just don't like to be controlled by somebody else. Time is a gift. We cannot control it. We only have one life. And yeah, I know everybody needs to work to survive, but I just don't like to live that way where I'm constantly working for somebody else and they're paying me a little bit of their profit each time. But yeah, I think that's a conversation for another video. I just thought, so how much are food costs here? So actually me and Sakura, we've been living together now for about 8 months. And within a few weeks of us first started dating, we would go out for lunches and dinners and kind of get to know each other and stuff like that. But then as we grew closer, Sakura started spending a lot more time here and eventually just moved in here, which was nice. I asked her, of course, after a couple of months. And then I came up with the idea of if we're always going out to eat and We're always eating together. She cooks a lot. Let's just make a bank card and we put on a set amount each month to cover all our food costs, and it makes it fair. So every month we put in 50,000 yen. So Sakura puts in 50,000 yen. I put in 50,000 yen to our kind of joint bank, and that provides us all our meals. So yeah, we go out for lunches, we go out for dinners, and we go to cinema or anything like that. And then of course all our supermarket shopping is covered by that bank card. We go out a lot and explore all the little cafes and restaurants close by. But we do a lot of home cooking as well. So yeah, about 100,000 yen a month on that. And that also gives us saving each month. We don't spend exactly the amount on the card, 100,000 yen each month. The kind of leftover goes into the next month. To give you a total cost, so let's say December, because the price is a little bit more expensive because it's the start of winter, so it's quite cold. So let's go monthly totals for rent, electricity, gas, water, resident tax, pension, health insurance. So the grand total of all of them in December comes to 81,309 yen. That's including my residence tax, pension, and national insurance, which goes up and down depending on how much you earn in a year. Food cost for the whole of December comes to 60,000 yen. And then one cost that I didn't quite go into detail, of course, fuel, gas prices. That really depends on the person and how much you use your car and stuff like that. To give you guys a rough idea for my fuel costs for December, it was 36,000 yen. But I guess that's quite average for me. I'd say I'd fill up a tank once per week. To fill up a tank is like 8,000 yen for my highs. So about once a week I have a full tank. But yeah, I think overall living in rural Japan is pretty affordable. Of course, there's certain bills like your resident tax and stuff that can really depend on the person and what job you do and how much your yearly income is. But general living costs, yeah, I think it's pretty good. I don't struggle here. I live quite comfortably, so I can't complain. But I will say there are hidden costs that a lot of people don't quite talk about when it comes to renovating an older house. I work on a lot of old houses here in the area, helping with renovations and working alongside local Japanese contractors. I was actually on a project today, and I wanted to take some videos there to show you guys what I do here. But yeah, there was some local contractors in there today installing a unit bath, and the boss, oh my god, he was so loud. I think he was like bullying this one worker, and I felt so bad for him. He's like an older guy. Yeah, the boss just kept on shouting and screaming at him. So I didn't pull the camera out because yeah, I thought it'd be quite strange when they see me filming, and they probably think I'm filming them for some kind of evidence or anything like that. But I did take a few phone clips in the hallway of the screaming. But this is a big reason I love doing freelance contract work and working for myself, is I can take on projects, I meet the clients, they tell me what kind of stuff they need to be done, and yeah, I just crack on and get on with it myself. If I need help, I bring in other people and stuff. But yeah, if I worked alongside these guys, I think I would just go crazy. I done a couple of hours there this morning and I had to leave because the guy was just screaming way too much. So I hope this covers a lot of the comments in the previous videos about living costs and going into a little bit more detail rather than just showing you guys my house and what I've done here. Yeah, it's hard to kind of keep everybody happy and stuff. Of course, there's been a lot of negative comments about me being a foreigner, living here, not integrating to the local community and all this kind of stuff. Quite hurtful to read them comments because then people don't know me or they don't know my story. And it's quite hard to kind of open up on camera at first to talk about all this kind of stuff and show you guys everything like this. My channel was primarily all about snowboarding and van life and just kind of making silly videos with friends and stuff like that. But now that I live here and I've got this base, and it's kind of exciting to to kind of build up and take you guys along the journey. And I know a lot of you guys really appreciate these videos. A lot of people looking at buying properties in the area, or I know a few of you guys that watch these videos actually live in the area that I've not met yet, but yeah, it's pretty nice to know that you enjoy these. But what I do want to say is people that do want to come to Japan and look for these abandoned houses and renovate them, a lot of them are coming here not to live, but to have a second property and rent it out as an Airbnb, which is also a lot of the work I do, is getting the properties ready and up to standard for renting out to Airbnb. But the amount of houses I've worked on in the area where foreign buyers are just buying these cheap old abandoned houses and doing the most minimum renovation projects on them, and then getting the license to rent it out as an Airbnb for people coming on ski holidays. Some of the jobs are just absolutely terrible. I can't really show any footage or photos of what I'm talking about because, yeah, it's a small community here and stuff. But I can understand why a lot of Japanese and local people don't like the foreigners coming into areas like this, buying the cheap houses. They're not doing too much for the community. They're buying these houses, they're renovating them at the most minimal standard. Place I wouldn't stay there on holiday. There's a lot of beautiful places in the area too. They're not all bad, but there's definitely some examples in the area. But yeah, then renting them out on Airbnb for about 100,000 yen per night, which is insane. Japanese people wouldn't pay that or can't afford that for a ski holiday in this area. The lift ticket prices are so cheap, and now you've got these old abandoned homes renovated into just terrible Airbnbs, overcharging people to come to the area. I just find it crazy, and I want Japanese people watching these videos. I'm not part of that. I bought my house to live in. I live here full time. I've lived in Japan 12 years now. I don't plan on leaving Japan. Japan is my home, but I can totally understand where they're coming at because I have to deal with these situations. I am helping renovate them, and some jobs I just refuse to do because one, they're cutting costs on everything. They're not renovating up to a standard of how I would feel comfortable as a customer coming in to pay a nightly fee for some of these places. So yeah, I guess that could be another topic for another video, so I won't go into too much detail. But before I go, I know there's a lot of skilled craftsmen watching these videos, so I'd like to get some information and some advice from you guys. So I'm going to show you my next idea of what I want to do to my house. Any experienced builders, carpenters, or tradesmen or anything like that, I want to show you guys the idea I have for winter. So basically, living in the snow country here, it's very common to have a snowblower, but the snowblowers are so expensive, and for me to justify paying for a snowblower that could be thousands of dollars for literally 2 months of the year, it's quite a lot. Once you've got a snowblower, it's not a one-time cost. Of course, you buy it, but then you've got maintenance and yeah, anything could go wrong with it. It's a mechanical machine. I know a lot of people in the area, they always have problems with their snow blowers and take them to the local shop, and it's just an expensive running cost. So I thought to kind of make it a little bit cheaper for myself, is I got the idea to build a carport here. I want to show you guys here. Basically, in the winter, this whole place gets covered in snow, and the snow falls from the roof down. So even though I clear the car parking space for my van every day, when it snows a lot, it builds up on the roof and then it slides down again. And clearing that snow, it's so heavy. It's almost like wet concrete or something like that. It's not like digging nice fluffy powder snow. So the idea would be to kind of build a carport here, and I've got a couple of options. If I built a standalone carport, then what would happen is the snow coming down from the roof would still come down, and then it'd get caught in between the standalone carport and then the house. So the idea would be to build like a lean-to. So if I put in posts along here, and then have the roof kind of joining to the roof or under. So if I make it just slightly under the roof here, and at the similar angle, if not steeper angle to the roof above, then the snow coming down would then come on the car roof, and then it would fall down on the other side of the carport. So that's the idea. But when you look at the house. This is kind of like a makeshift garage here. So the actual house starts here. To build the carport, I think I'll need to do about 5 meters to kind of cover the highs here. So it'd go from about this post to back there. So looking at it, I'm just curious what the best method is for building it. Do I build it where I join the roof, so I can re-roof the garage there and kind of make it a joining roof to a carport, or I can do a lean-to carport from just under there, or I can build the carport, a normal carport with a leaning roof to the side of the house. So I have a post there, and then 4-post carport with the roof going just below the existing roof. Yeah, and the reason for this, rather than buying a snowblower, is I only need to clear enough space for my van to park. Sakura's car there actually fits in the garage in the winter, so she's pretty lucky. But all around the house, I don't need to worry about the snow. I mean, the snow naturally comes off the roof, it builds up to the side of the house, but I don't use the land around it in the winter, so I don't need a snowblower to continuously clearing the snow. I don't have neighbors that will complain about snow buildup and stuff like that. So that's why I thought, rather than spending like $4 on a snowblower, is it better to spend $4 on building a carport, which I'll have more use for in the summer as well. So that's the idea, and I'd really appreciate any ideas or any help that you guys have, so make sure you leave a comment below. What do you guys think? Arigato gozaimasu.